We begin with that key hearing in the investigation into the documents found at former President Trump's Florida home that's happening just hours from now.
This afternoon, a judge is expected to decide whether a third party, a so-called special master, should be appointed. That person would review the classified documents the FBI seized at Mar-a-Lago and make sure they do not include information protected by attorney-client privilege. Overnight, Trump's legal team responded to the latest Justice Department filing. That filing from the DOJ on Tuesday night included this photo of some of those documents seized. The Justice Department claims efforts were likely taken to obstruct the government's investigation. NBC News correspondent Vaughn Hilliard is in West Palm Beach, Florida, where that hearing will be taking place. And NBC News legal analyst Danny Savalos joins us here on set with more on what to expect today. Vaughn, let's start with you and Trump team's filing last night. What's the argument they're making, and what did they say about that photo of the documents that's getting so much attention?
Yeah, this is going to be a 1 p.m. hearing in which Judge Cannon, who was actually appointed by Donald Trump just weeks after the 2020 election, will be hearing this special master case. I know that Danny will do a great job of breaking down exactly what a special master would mean, but this is just the latest episode here in the last 3 weeks in which that August 8th search warrant was executed. And now the FBI investigators have been working over the course of those 3 weeks to comb through these documents, along with the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, which that team has been working to determine just the national security risk that these documents potentially pose, not only by their existence if they were to get in the hands of somebody into the future, but also, just last night, there was an acknowledgement by Alina Habba, she is a Trump attorney there, that there have been frequent guests into the Mar-a-Lago office where these documents were held. I want to let you listen to perhaps an unintentional admission from one of Trump's attorneys. Take a listen to last night.
I do have firsthand knowledge, as you know. I have been down there. I'm down there frequently. I have never seen that. I have never, ever seen that. That is not the way his office looks. Anybody that knows President Trump's office, he has guests frequently there. It's just a joke. They literally must have gone in and taken out documents they wanted, or cover letters as it is, and put it about so that the public believes that this is top secret documents that were on his floor.
Now, of course, that attorney there is making the case that that is not how the FBI found the documents. And Donald Trump himself, in a social media post yesterday, said that they were, in fact, in cartons. But what both individuals are acknowledging is the fact that, yes, those documents were inside of his Mar-a-Lago office, which runs counter to the sworn affidavit, the certification that was signed by the custodian on behalf of Donald Trump on June 3rd, that, in fact, all of the relevant documents that were requested by the Department of Justice through a subpoena related to classified materials had been turned over. And what the Department of Justice this week is laying out is that, in fact, in August 8th, they were able to secure more than double the number of classified material than what Trump's team and his lawyers initially surrendered there on June 3rd.
Danny, let's bring you in here. And first, as Vaughn mentioned there, just kind of another refresher on special master and exactly what it is that we're looking at here, what that would mean. But also tell us the potential legal implications of this, admission of guests in the office.
Yeah, a special master is basically a neutral third party that can be appointed, but it's done very rarely. And it's even done more rarely, I should say, in situations involving a search warrant. And where it has been done, it almost universally involves a search of an attorney's office. Why is that? Because an attorney's office is a kind of clearinghouse. Indeed, this laptop that I'm holding right here is full of evidence of drugs and guns and all kinds of bad behavior from other different clients that are not involved in a particular investigation. And for that very unique reason, the government or the court may decide to appoint a special master, a neutral third party, to go through all these documents and decide and make sure that the privileged stuff doesn't get out, that doesn't have anything to do with the case. That's not the situation here. This is not an attorney's office. Sure, it's the former president, but that's not the typical justification. And the Trump filing last night didn't really address that. It didn't really rebut that reasoning, and it didn't rebut a lot of the important arguments, too. One other thing I just have to address. We've been talking about that picture that you're seeing right there. Yes. This is, and to hear someone say, well, that's not how they were stored. The FBI agents laid them all out. Of course, they do that all the time. Every time I get Discovery, they don't take a picture of contraband hidden in a sock because it's hidden in a sock. They take it out, they lay it all out so you can see what everything is. So this is a big nothing. This is what the FBI does all the time when they do execute a search warrant. They lay it all out so you can see it. That's obviously not the way it was stored.
Yeah. Thank you for explaining that one. Vaughn, very quickly here, the FBI says investigators have already gone through the documents they seized. So some experts have argued, well, a special master might be a moot point. What's the Trump team's argument for wanting that special master?
Right. It took them more than 2 weeks, Trump's team more than 2 weeks to request the special master. And that's where you saw in that filing from the Department of Justice this week say, OK, that's nice, but our filter team has already gone through all of the documents and turned over the relevant ones, those that they say are not protected by client-attorney privilege, to the investigative team. So as we speak, that investigative team is working through those documents along with the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. As for Trump's team, though, they are making the case, not only as Danny was outlining, the attorney-client privilege, but also executive privilege. The issue, though, is that the Department of Justice says, look, we fall under the executive branch here. And so it's kind of a tough argument to make that there's executive privilege when it's the executive branch that is the one that is working through and looking at these documents that Donald Trump is claiming to belong to the executive branch, which, of course, he is no longer a part of himself.
All right, Vaughn and Danny, thank you both. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Later today in Philadelphia, President Biden will deliver a primetime speech about what he calls the battle for the soul of the nation.
You might remember that as the president's core message in his 2020 presidential campaign. And this refocusing comes as voters prepare, of course, to head to the ballot box in November. NBC News White House correspondent Mike Memoli is in Philadelphia and joins us now. Mike, good morning. Great to see you. So walk us through what we can expect to hear from the president this evening and also why he's chosen Philadelphia for this message.
Well, Savannah, good morning. Philadelphia really has been a favorite location on the part of the Biden team. We saw him hold his first real major kickoff rally in the 2020 campaign here in Philadelphia. He gave a major speech here last year as well on the issue of voting rights, really condemning Republicans for a raft of voter laws in the states that restricted, in the view of the White House, the ability of Americans to get to the polls. And so he's coming here now, the first day of September, with the midterm elections less than now 10 weeks away, to really do an effort to frame the election in very stark terms for the American people. He's going to be talking about the fact that, yes, this battle for the soul of the nation continues, that America's standing in the world, our very freedoms, our rights are at stake. And it's all in light of, in part, what we're seeing both in the overturning of Roe versus Wade, the right, not just of abortion, but other privacy rights associated with that are at risk, but also the increasingly concerning rhetoric that the president says he's hearing from Republicans in light of that search in Mar-a-Lago that you were just talking with Vaughn and Danny about, that the threats on law enforcement. And we got a taste of this, of course, just the other day in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, as the president really asked the country, what side are you on, especially toward Republicans? But tonight, with this backdrop of Independence Hall behind him, he's going to be really putting himself on the right side of history in that argument.
And Mike, yeah, adding to that, I mean, we've seen in recent weeks the president also sharpen his criticism of Republicans, especially those who support Donald Trump, even accusing them of aligning with the former president, of embracing semi-fascism. What's behind this stronger rhetoric? Are we going to expect more attacks like this as the midterms approach?
Yeah, Republicans really have responded vigorously to that rhetoric from the president, and it's not an outlier. I'm talking to White House officials who say this is something the president really feels deeply about. It's interesting, Joe, that just a month ago, the president held a private meeting with a group of presidential historians who talked about this moment in American history, really put it into context with other significant moments, like during the Civil War, like during World War II. And they said, we're just at perhaps even more perilous a moment for our democracy. This is something that the president has felt deeply about, and he feels increasingly it's something that needs to be laid out. This is a president who, of course, said it during the campaign, and he's tried during the course of his time in office to work across the line with the Republicans. We heard him say just a week ago that he respects conservative Republicans, even if they have differences on policy, but he does not respect the extreme MAGA Republicans who are, in his view, embracing political violence and don't even respect democracy itself. And he wants to make that case again in the most high-profile setting he can in prime time tonight to the American people as well.
All right, Mike Memoli, thank you so much.
For the first time in 50 years, Alaska will send a Democrat to Congress after a special election for the state's only House seat. In an upset victory, Democrat Mary Peltola defeated former Alaska governor and 2008 vice presidential candidate Sarah Palin. The special election took place on August 16th under a ranked choice system, with the results finally announced yesterday. Peltola will serve the last months of the late Congressman Don Young's term. She will face Palin again in November to determine who will serve the next full two-year term.
Now to the city of Jackson, Mississippi, where they're still without running water this morning, and that's forcing families to wait in long lines for bottled water and causing schools to shift to online learning. NBC News correspondent Morgan Chesky has more on how residents are responding to this water crisis.
In Jackson, Mississippi, bottled water disappearing just as fast as people's patience.
I've been in line maybe almost an hour.
One case per car for a crisis hitting 180,000 people.
No water pressure, no nothing.
Officials said a new water pump should help.
How much longer before the people here can be confident that the water coming out of their faucet is clean?
Well, they can be confident that the water that is coming out of their faucet is clean when we tell them that it is clean. Obviously, right now it is not.
The plant, part of an older Jackson water system that could cost more than $1 billion to fix. A pricey problem experts say is already playing out nationwide as aging pipelines give out.
A lot of it was built by our grandparents and our parents and our great-grandparents. No engineer designed a water system to last that long. You got to face reality. At some point, it's going to have to be replaced.
In Rockdale, Texas, unfiltered water looking more like coffee after officials said sediment broke off inside old cast iron pipes. Flint, Michigan and Newark, New Jersey now investing hundreds of millions to replace lead pipes, posing poison risks. Back in Jackson, lack of water cutting schools short at Christ United Methodist.
You don't think that that's what you have to worry about when you're going to work or sending your kids to school is, are they going to have water?
They can't use the toilets. It doesn't have enough pressure to use it.
No bathrooms.
No bathrooms.
Mother Kelsey Shack asking leaders to do better.
I'm very frustrated. It's very sad because the whole community is suffering.
Morgan Chesky, NBC News, Jackson.
Now let's get a check on your morning news now weather.
Meteorologist Michelle Grossman is with us. Michelle, good morning.
Good morning to you both. And the main story continues to be the heat wave in the west. We're going to see days and days of brutal temperatures into the 90s, into the triple digits from the northwest all the way down to the southwest. So currently 45 million Americans in the West under a heat alert, whether it's a heat advisory or an excessive heat warning. The excessive heat warning, that is in the pink. Sacramento, Los Angeles, San Diego, seeing really warm temperatures as we head throughout this holiday weekend. So for today, we're looking at temperatures again into the 90s, into the triple digits, 107 in Bakersfield, 100 degrees in Pasadena. We're looking at 110 in Vegas. That's 9 degrees above what is average for this time of year. And we're looking at 89 degrees today in San Diego. Then as we go throughout tomorrow, no relief, of course. We're looking at temperatures once again right near the 100-degree mark. Some spots even close to 115. Las Vegas tomorrow, 110, 100 degrees in Pasadena. Reno, 90, 99, might as well be 100 degrees. In San Jose, we're looking at 90 degrees. Then as we go throughout the weekend into early next week, we're still looking at really warm temperatures. Death Valley, yes, it's always warm, but we're looking at temperatures near 125. If they make it to 126, that will be the hottest temperature ever recorded on Earth in the month of September. So that is hot. Sacramento, so hot too. 105 on Saturday, 109 on Sunday, 112 on Monday. So we're going to be breaking records, not just daily records, monthly records, and also all-time records. Where you see these red dots on this map here, that's indicating where we could see some possible records being broken through Saturday. That's one main weather story. We're also looking at flood risk once again. So wet in the south, continues to be. We're looking at a flash flood risk, especially in western Texas, southwestern Texas, where you see that red there. That is a moderate risk. We're also looking at flash flooding concerns in Dallas. It's all due to the stationary boundary that is parked over the area. It's going to bring more showers, more storms over this area from Texas to the Gulf Coast into portions of the southeast, the state of Florida. You're going to see some showers and storms. Once again, we had a tornado warning in portions of northern Texas, northern Florida yesterday, and tomorrow we'll see more showers and storms. Back to you guys.
All right. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.